Happy New Year and welcome to the 2022 edition of the Bobby Mo Show, our first show of the brand new calendar year. I'm Chris Shovlin, the play-by-play voice of Robert Morris University football and basketball. Today we're going to talk with a couple of relatively new head coaches here at Robert Morris University. Danny Doherty just accepted the head coaching job of the women's volleyball team, and Jason O'Keefe is in his first season, just completed his first season as men's soccer coach. We'll have them both on next on the Bobby Mo Show. This winter, many families in our area are struggling to make ends meet and keep their homes warm. You can make a difference by making a donation to Dollar Energy Fund. Your contribution will be matched dollar for dollar by Dollar Energy Fund's utility partners, and 100% of all donations will be used to help local families maintain or restore basic utility services. No one should have to face a Pittsburgh winter in the cold. Help spread the warmth to your neighbors in need and donate today at dollarenergy.org. We're back here on the Bobby Mo Show. I'm Chris Shovlin. We have two new head coaches to introduce you to here at Robert Morris. The first one is the brand new volleyball coach here at RMU, although, saying that Danny Doherty is brand new here at RMU is kind of a strange statement because you've been here since 2011.
Yep.
So you're a veteran of all this.
Yeah, it's been quite a long time, a vast journey, if you will.
And literally, you've been in every position on the coaching staff, right?
Yep. I started as a volunteer assistant. In 2011, I was actually kind of like a game day volunteer. I was still living in Kent, Ohio at the time, and I'd travel out for just day games, or the day of the game, sorry. And then I moved out here with my wife, Sarah, then girlfriend at the time, and was the volunteer assistant, then became the GA, then the full-time assistant, then the associate head coach, and here we are.
Here we are. Now you're the head coach. You're running the program. And what's the most daunting thing about becoming the head coach? Or is it daunting to you at all? Maybe it's not.
I don't know. I think it'll be daunting once we get into the games. Right now, it's just kind of business as usual. We've done a lot of stuff over the years, and this is kind of old hat. But just kind of getting adjusted and making sure that all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed more so than anything. But once the games start, probably a little more daunting.
Sure. You mentioned Kent State and driving over here for the games. That's not an easy trip, is it?
It became kind of like, I called it the video game trip. You just kind of plug in, and it's about an hour and 40 minutes. It's pretty simple. And it's just a straight shot. You just hop on the turnpike, hop off the turnpike, and you're right here. So
4-lane the whole way.
Absolutely.
Okay. Even during the rough weather months?
Yeah, sometimes. There was only a few times that it was really out of control. Ohio weather was very mild during that time, so it was only in PA where we found bad weather.
See, Pennsylvania people say the other way. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
Definitely, a few times.
You grew up in Akron. We were talking about Akron before we started the show here today. And, what's the coolest thing about Akron besides LeBron James?
I would say the coolest thing about Akron is just the different atmospheres that you can get moving through the city. Like, the downtown atmosphere is great. It's revitalized since I was a little kid. It has an amazing ballpark for the Akron Rubber Ducks. I'm a huge baseball guy. But
yep.
So just seeing the rise of that, and then seeing what all of the University of Akron's done to change kind of their landscape as well is pretty cool. But you have just these different boroughs at Cuyahoga Falls, Fair Lawn, Montrose, all these areas that are just like different niches and just pretty cool all around.
That's neat. You mentioned you're a baseball fan. I know we're supposed to be talking about another sport, maybe volleyball, something like that. But you are a baseball fan. Indians, Pirates.
So I'm a Nationals and Indians fan.
Okay.
It was 94 was the first year that I truly remember being a diehard fan, watching way too many games and being glued to the TV. And of course, that was the year of the strike. But the Indians and the Expos were probably going, I like to say, we're going to go into the World Series, or at least deep into the playoffs. Yeah. And just kind of fell in love with their rotations, and kind of continued. Once the Expos moved to Washington, it was a no-brainer. There were still a lot of guys on the team that I followed since they were in the Expos minor league system. And then a couple of years later, my girlfriend at the time, now wife, moved out to to RMU and the same colors as the Nationals. So it was an easy color scheme to keep on.
Danny Doherty is my guest, the new head volleyball coach here at Robert Morris University. And, I just have to ask you one more baseball question. I mean, have you gotten used to saying Guardians yet, the Cleveland Guardians?
Fair. Actually, I have. It wasn't really a big sticking point for me. I'm a huge memorabilia guy, so I have a lot of stuff that has Indians on it. And so it's people joke around. They're like, "Oh, you're gonna have to get rid of the whole collection now." It's like, no, not necessarily.
It makes it more valuable, right?
I guess. I'm not in it for the resale aspect, but more the just the having aspect. My wife might call me a hoarder, but it's no big deal.
Yeah.
But the Guardians, I mean, there were some really bad names that were options, so I'm pretty happy with the Guardians and the fact that they went with something that there was a connection to the city with the Guardians of Traffic just outside. I actually worked for the Indians for a couple years, and that's where we used to park. You could see the Guardians of Traffic statues as we got out and went into work. So it's pretty cool to see that kind of develop and change, because it was definitely something that needed to change.
That's neat. I'm going to get fired if I don't ask you about volleyball. So here on the Bobby Mo Show, let's talk about Robert Morris University volleyball. And, I realize you're between seasons right now.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about coming into a new season with you as the brand new head coach and what you're doing to build up toward next year.
We have a very young team coming back. We graduated some generational talent.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of training in the spring and a lot of growth, and I'm really excited to see that. The squad we have is I love them. It's a great crew. There's a lot of talent and a lot of ability that can be uncovered. And then we're adding a couple commits that will be released here in the next couple days or maybe early next week that are going to be unbelievable additions to the squad, and I'm really looking forward to the growth of the team as a whole and the individual growth that we can have with each individual student athlete. So.
Do you have a quote unquote recruiting base, an area that you get into for the most part?
Well, like we've already gone over, I'm from Ohio, so I have a lot of connections in the Northeast Ohio area, and it's a very good volleyball area. But we generally go around through Ohio, Virginia, West Virginia, New York, but we really like to stay home in Pennsylvania. One of the big things that we say is you keep homegrown talent home, and we've had a lot of success with local student athletes really rising to the ability. I coach club volleyball here at Pittsburgh Elite Volleyball Association, and it's helped me kind of grow and foster with some of the student athletes that we've had. So it's been truly a blessing to see that. But out of the hotbed of this kind of hub, it's been great. Since the switch to the Horizon League, we're going to work our way west.
Sure.
One of the big things is student athletes like to see themselves or to go home and be able to showcase their talents for their home and their family and their friends. So now that we're playing in the western area and Milwaukee, Green Bay, and so on, it'll be easier to recruit out there, and we'll probably make a little bit of a splash out there in the coming years.
Even so, like right here in this area, with the attention that volleyball has gotten,
Absolutely.
Women's volleyball has gotten just this year, has been amazing.
Absolutely. The past couple of years, we've had the Final Four was here just a few years ago, and the Final Four has been in Columbus 2 of the years out of the past few as well. So just in our region, we've seen some of the best volleyball that you could ever imagine. This year being in Columbus, it was just a quick little 3-hour jaunt out, and it was unreal. It was great volleyball, and you can break that down to just being able to showcase what we have on a national level and be able to have the student athletes in our area be able to see that and to try and work towards that. It's been pretty cool.
Onward and upward for RMU too, huh?
Absolutely.
All right. Danny, thanks for joining me today.
Of course.
Excellent stuff. Danny Doherty, the brand new head volleyball coach here at Robert Morris University. Again, brand new, but he's been here since 2011 in various capacities. It's great to have him still here. All right, coming up next on the Bobby Mo Show, we're going to switch gears and talk about the men's soccer program under Jason O'Keefe. He's coming up next.
Welcome back, RMU basketball fans. Single game tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster for all RMU men's and women's basketball home games at the UPMC Event Center. Don't miss out on the full court excitement of RMU and Horizon League basketball. Non-stop action, fantastic promotions, and lots of fun all season long. Go to Ticketmaster and get your tickets now. To stay up to date on all RMU basketball news, download the RMU Game Day app or check it out at rmucolonials.com.
At the top of the Bobby Moe Show this week, I mentioned we had two new head coaches on. Well, Jason O'Keefe has been here for a full season right now, so he's not all that new, but relatively new. Jason O'Keefe was named the head coach of the Robert Morris University men's soccer program on November 23rd, 2020. Coach O'Keefe, you got named to that position right smack dab in the midst of a pandemic. What was the mindset when you took the job?
A complete blessing, because in the midst of that pandemic, my program at App State had been cut. So it was in some dark days, and really was blessed to get another opportunity to lead another program, and so I was excited, hopeful, really just kind of reinvigorated, and excited to get to work and get this thing back to its winning ways.
You were the head coach at Appalachian State for 4 years down in Boone, North Carolina, and tell me what led up to the program getting dropped.
I really wish I knew. I was on vacation, got a call or a text to get on a call at 11:30. Said sure, and as I sat at the pool with my son playing around in the pool, I thought, well, that's kind of strange, because we've been doing it Tuesday, Thursday, 2 o'clock. For the last however many months, 5 months. Got on the call, and within minutes it was over, So there was no real lead up. There was no, hey, this could be coming, which is probably how it's done, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was it. And then we spent the next probably 2.5, 3 months just sorting out all of our guys, getting them sorted. So we returned. It's very similar to, we're returning 29 guys this week from a team that's being rebuilt, and that one was exactly the same.
Sure.
We were returning 26 out of 27 guys. We had, 8 guys committed for the next year. So we had a lot of work to do, but, very blessed, and credit to the guys. They all got somewhere, quote unquote, a higher level, or maybe increase their scholarship because they were now proven college players and winners. So,
one of the big wins you had at App State was in 2019 when you shut out nationally ranked North Carolina 1-0. Tell me about that game and the memory that you have from that particular match.
Yeah, it was more like a weak memory, because we were playing Coastal in a league game the previous Saturday prior, and both center backs that were part of my first recruiting class that had played every minute together for 2.5 years, both went out in the same first half against Coastal, and we lost 4-0. And then we had to turn around and come up and play Penn State, who was nationally ranked,
right,
and we lost that one 4-0. I think we had conceded 10 goals all the way up until that point in the season, and we conceded 8 in 2 games. So it was a bit of a blur. But, next man up, guys stepped up, complete team effort, executed a great game plan. Obviously Carolina was I think ranked, but they were not the Carolina team that they had been.
Sure.
For a number of reasons. But still a massive win, first time in, I think it was 30-something years.
Since 1980, I think.
Yeah,
right?
So 40 years. And it got us to our 10th win, which was a goal. It really kind of put a cap on the success that we had, because we'd beaten 3 or 4 other top 40 teams that year, and we felt building towards something special. But yeah, it was a memorable night. Anytime you can go to a team like that, a program like that, and get a win, it's great.
You seem to have a specialty of defense when it comes to soccer, and some of the kids that you've coached have really won some superior defensive accolades down through the years. Tell me about your philosophy when you talk about soccer.
Yeah, defense wins championships, I believe. We don't just defend. We're not a defensive-minded coaching staff or philosophy. We try to be pretty much on the front foot and defend higher up the field and press and do those things to initiate our attack. But at the end of the day, you've got to have a fundamentally sound team that's disciplined, organized, willing to do the dirty work, willing to fight for each other, and those things come out in shutouts. I think we had 3 this year. We had 1 in the spring, so we're building. The goal was 7 this year. We were obviously well short. But we made a lot of progress this fall with 15 new guys and starting 7, 8, 9 freshmen every night. The future's bright. We got 4 more guys joining us in January this semester that we're extremely excited about. And we have 4 guys committed for August already. So, we feel like we're putting the foundational pieces in, and defense is certainly one of those. But you gotta score goals if you want to win championships. So.
You've been based on the East Coast, down on Tobacco Road, down through the years. Is that the hotbed of recruiting for you, or are you looking elsewhere?
Yeah, and I laughed when I got here because I grew up in D.C. and have been on the East Coast. Went to Cincinnati with St. Louis, so spent some time in the Midwest. And everybody would, yeah, it's an East Coast city, and I'm like, no, it's not. It's a Midwest city, more field for me. So we're gonna, primarily focus on PA, Ohio, Maryland, probably a majority, look there first. And then, if we can't find what we need, then we'll look outside those areas, other connections we have. Obviously, it's a global sport, so, there'll be an international influx of players. And I really like it because it gives diversity to the locker room, brings diversity to the campus, not just in, skin color, but religion, beliefs, cultures, food, languages, and I love that part of it.
That's the one great thing about sports is it doesn't matter who you are, where you came from. Right. Everybody gets in there, and you can form a team, and that's how we all learn to get along.
Yeah.
It truly is.
Yeah.
I know that I spent some years broadcasting professional soccer here in Pittsburgh with the Riverhounds, and I know that soccer players and soccer coaches in particular are a little bit quirky and a little bit superstitious. Is there anything that you do on a regular basis getting ready for a game or getting ready for practice or anything like that that's a little extraordinary, let's say?
Some of my players may think it's extraordinary. Just preparation. We really try and put the preparation in, train at an intense level so that it can match the game as often as we can. We have a routine on a game day where we'll, if it's a afternoon game, we train in the morning, so we wouldn't normally do much except for a walkthrough scout. Mm-hmm. But if we're playing a night game, training in the morning, normally we'd get the guys in, do a little spike run, get their heart rate up, jog and stretch, and then they'd go to class, and then we get into the routine of pregame meal, again, video, scout. I don't really have a ton of superstitions. I mean, every once in a while, I guess, if we've won a couple games, I'll maybe wear the same shirt, something like that.
Nothing as crazy as what happens on Ted Lasso, right?
Nothing as crazy as Ted Lasso, but we can all learn from Ted Lasso, I think.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ted Lasso, how realistic is Ted Lasso when it comes to actual soccer?
It's not realistic at all. And to be honest, I fought it for a year or two. People were jabbing about it, and I thought, no, this is just going to be another poke at the bear. And so then I watched it, and I was, I wasn't watching it for the soccer.
Sure.
And then got hooked and, binged on all the series and, couldn't care less about the soccer scenes because they were all really fake. And,
yeah, exactly.
But the messages of teamwork, believing, honesty, integrity, togetherness, like those things resonate within a team or just in culture and in life, like kind of like you said earlier. I mean, it really shed a light on what's the best in us, not the divisiveness and all the things that are going on today. You know?
For sure. Right. Jason O'Keefe is my guest. Let's get back to Robert Morris soccer. Obviously, you're pointing towards next year, and tell me about the build-up for the coming season next year.
Yeah, so we just sent out the schedule to the guys. We've been telling them, because really when we got here, it was a year ago I got here, basically, and we jumped right into our first Horizon League season. The spring, the good and the bad about the spring, obviously there's not a ton of matches, so you can't really develop through the matches, but you can put a lot of work in individually, collectively, small groups, and really that's where your resolve and your strength and your mental toughness comes from those hard days when there's not a game anywhere near you and you're trying to get these guys motivated and they're trying to motivate themselves. So that combined with, because you handle a fall differently to a spring, right? So that combined with 15 new guys, we've got a whole team that's never been through a full spring cycle. So we're super excited about it. And while we've been talking about how excited we are, we've been trying to remind them how hard it's going to be.
Sure.
A lot intentionally put on them because, like I said, that's when you grow, in those moments of adverse conditions. And we had some moments that we dealt with this fall, but being young and being, not as seasoned, I think there were moments where we didn't quite handle it, right? So this will be a great opportunity for us to really come together as a team, really add these 4 new pieces in that'll be impactful for the fall, and really just start to lay the foundation down. We're going to, because we have so many guys, we're going to play. We are allowed 5 match dates in the spring per NCAA rules. So you can do whatever you want on those dates. So we're going to do double headers. So everybody gets 60, 70, 75-minute run out each day. So we're, in essence, going to play, 3 of those days we'll get 6 games out of them. And then we're going to go to Penn State April 16th, and then we're going to host Akron April 23rd to round out the spring. So it's going to be a highly competitive spring. A lot of guys are going to get opportunity and minutes to grow. And then, we're essentially playing the same fall schedule, just some reversed home and aways, which was, going into league play, I can't remember, 0-6, 0-7, whatever we were. I'm thinking, my gosh, well, who put this schedule together? And then, you're 6 games in the league, you're 3-3, you're playing the top team that hasn't been beat, and you have a goal overturned, you have a PK overturned, you end up losing in double overtime, and you think, okay, the schedule prepared us. Now this fall, can we get some of those non-league wins and gain some confidence and just grow, this young group?
Sounds intense. It sounds intense. We're rooting for you. Best of luck to you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, that's Jason O'Keefe. We'll come back and put a lid on this one and also take a look at the schedule ahead for the sports being played right now here at Robert Morris University. Coming up next on the Bobby Moe Show.
This winter, many families in our area are struggling to make ends meet and keep their homes warm. You can make a difference by making a donation to Dollar Energy Fund. Your contribution will be matched dollar for dollar by Dollar Energy Fund's utility partners, and 100% of all donations will be used to help local families maintain or restore basic utility services. No one should have to face a Pittsburgh winter in the cold. Help spread the warmth to your neighbors in need and donate today at dollarenergy.org.
Time to put a wrap on this week's edition of the Bobby Moe Show with a look ahead at the schedule. First of all, women's basketball. They knocked off Cleveland State 63-55 and beat Purdue Fort Wayne 48-45. Next up, a Friday night match at Northern Kentucky. That'll be a 7 o'clock start. And they'll stay on the road on Sunday and play at Wright State, just outside of Dayton, Ohio. That'll be a 2 o'clock tip. Of course, you'll be able to watch those on ESPN Plus thanks to the Horizon League. As far as men's basketball is concerned, they lost at Oakland 79-61 over the weekend. And next game up for Robert Morris men's basketball will be Friday night against Cleveland State. The Vikings will be here in town on Friday, and then Sunday it'll be Fort Wayne and the Colonials. That'll be Sunday afternoon at 1. You'll be able to watch both of those games. Jimmy Elias and I will have the call on ESPN Plus. We'll also have the audio call on the RMU Athletics Game Day app. That'll do it for the Bobby Moe Show this week. I'm Chris Shovlin. Thanks so much to Dylan Thompson, our producer. We'll talk to you next time.